Hello and good afternoon. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Appalachia. Got detained yesterday just as I was sitting down here to start doing this video. I got a phone call from one of my colleagues. They needed some help, and I was in a hurry. I only had about 20 minutes because there was a thunderstorm rolling in anyway. The no-see-ums are out already here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and they love my bare skin. So the topic for today is a continuation, I believe, of the topic from last week. Last week was Bondage Loops of Fear. Bondage Loops of Fear was something I was guided to multiple times during 2021, 3 or 4 times, through the help of a friend. And also, on top of that though, I was guided to something, a subject, about 7 times at least. It actually became a joke after a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And that topic is called Breaking Point That Shatters Integrity. And I believe these two are very related. Bondage Loops of Fear and Breaking Point That Shatters Integrity. So I wanted to share, this is a short one. It's only, the subject on the website that we were guided to is only 1 page long here. So I'm going to read most of this, maybe all of it. The impact of the geomagnetic field generates massive surfacing of black forces that produces intense energetic pressure upon people's bodies, especially their mental body. It is becoming clear that more of the masses are not faring well physically, psychologically, or emotionally from the massive impact of magnetic shifts, which are shifting the global brain residence. Well, we can see if you look around the world at what's going on, especially if I see it on Twitter. That's where I get my news these days. There's a lot of craziness going on. This particular theme of mental body fracturing, incoherent thoughts, and emotional instability, as well as possible possession, are disturbing, and many of us will need to gather strength from the fact that this is happening in greater numbers on the planet. That's one of the phrases that I was guided to, by the way. In fact, I think a couple times. People that are heavily dependent on their intellectual capacity, I got this one a few times because too much thinking going on. People who are heavily dependent on their intellectual capacity, extremely mentally rigid, severely traumatized, or fractured, are having a really difficult time maintaining personal stability and coherence during this time. Additionally, many fractured and traumatized people are prescribed a cocktail of psychoactive pharmaceutical drugs that further alter brain function, leading to unknown consequences. Well, we know that in all of these shootings, these mass shootings that happen around our country, the perpetrators of these shootings are normally, if the truth comes out, there seems to be a heavy use of pharmaceutical drugs. And it is proven from what I've read that a lot of these drugs will cause states of depression and suicidal thoughts. We live in the United States, we're living in a country that is heavily seduced by this whole pharmaceutical industry into thinking that everybody needs some kind of pills in order to survive. It's truly a sad state of affairs. But this is the result, is that, I've met people, I've seen them, when in doubt, pop a pill, and it's not a good thing. I'll continue. When a person remains very internally conflicted about themselves, lost and confused in life, holding memories of extreme trauma in their body that remain unhealed, they are internally disconnected from their core self. This type of person lives within perpetual cognitive dissonance, and this generates a lot of stress and pressure on the person's body and energies, especially mental and physical body. Each person has a pressure point or breaking point when there is too much pressure being exerted upon the body and nervous system, where extreme deviations in brain chemistry and behavior can occur. Okay, so just to use myself as an example, back in 2018, 2019, when I had started thinking that I could handle alcohol again at the time, red wine, and I was drinking a lot and working in this office, I wasn't cognizant of any of this stuff. And what happened is this, we start to form these stories in our mind. And then we start to repeat them, right? The monkey mind. And at the same time, if we go back to Bondage Loops of Fear, when we're in close proximity to people, whether it's colleagues, friends, family, or intimate partners, this is what I believe happened to me multiple times, especially a couple times in the last 6 or 7 years. There's relationships that build, and there's a certain amount of what's called trauma bonding that happens. We bond because we don't even know it, unless we know what our traumas are, unless we're very cognizant of our basic childhood traumas. We bond with somebody else who has a similar trauma. And that begins what I talked about last week, was the bondage loop of fear. This looping starts happening, and the looping starts happening up here, right? And then we're being bombarded with all this electromagnetic radiation at the same time, and some other things that are going on in our world. And if we're not cognizant of this, if we don't know how to release it and let it go, if it keeps building and building and building and building, we will eventually reach what the subject of this is today, which is the breaking point that shatters integrity. We will do something, say something, we'll just explode at another person without even knowing it. We will reach that break point. And it's happened to me a couple times in the last 6 or 7 years. And it's very difficult to look back on. But it is like a volcano that is just slowly, all of the magma is coming up, and one day it just goes pow. And we're just not trained in this society to deal with this. We are emotional beings, and we're just not trained in this society to deal with this. It's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last 2 years, being out here by myself and just looking back on life and understanding the patterns that the universe keeps giving us, this pattern or these patterns of people and relationships and situations, until we finally figure out and learn and understand what's really going on. And I'm so grateful that I figured it out and found out some of this stuff, so that I can deal with it. And the way that we deal with it, how we test ourselves, then the universe brings more people into our life, right? Because it is with relationships with other people, whether they're colleagues, friends, family, or intimate. It is in those relationships where the test happens. And I've noticed this. I talked about it a few weeks ago. I noticed this with the guys I'm working with, and I'm very cognizant of what's going on with regards to the interaction that I have. I'm able to observe it better now than I ever have been in my life. So I'm going to finish the second half of this. It's called internal conflicts and fracturing. When people are internally conflicted and fractured, they reach a point where they will explode as the bodily mechanism for releasing cumulative energetic pressure that these emotional and mental conflicts create. It's a volcano. It's going to explode if we don't figure out how to release it. This breaking point is occurring in some of the fragile minds of fractured or traumatized people around us. It is what we are witnessing in larger numbers. Understatement of the day. Mind control in all the various forms is being used in the media to assault the public with fear-based propaganda. Is extremely destructive to the human body. This is why you don't want to watch the news, okay? The news the news, but I don't care if it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC, it doesn't matter. I've watched them all. I've watched RT when I was over in Europe. It was Rai from Italy. I could watch it in 5 different languages. I could watch the French, the Italian, the Russian, and English. I could watch the BBC. I could watch Fox. I could watch them all. I could watch them all. But it was all the same stuff. It was all the same fear-based propaganda. Turn it off. It's extremely destructive to the human body. Artificial intelligence, which Donald Trump was talking about today, I just happened to notice before I came out here. Artificial intelligence, which is something we don't need. Artificial intelligence mind control technologies are especially damaging to the functions of the brain and neurological system, impairing coherent thinking and producing extremist ideologies. This is one component of what is currently manufacturing a greater number of lunatics in society. And lunatics, of course, the root of the word is the Latin luna, which means moon, right? That's what they used to call them. Moon madness is what it used to be called. Because the moon does have an influence on us. Obviously, ladies, you know this, right? A lunatic is an informal term describing a person whose behaviors and actions are considered mentally ill, dangerous, unstable, and unpredictable. This type of unstable person that sometimes exhibits insanely destructive behavior is something that we should be able to discern in the environment and do our best to remain neutral around, yet set the necessary boundaries while in their midst. This is the saddening result of the extreme methods of mind control and mixtures of chemical substances that have been used in this reality to enslave human consciousness. This is what we are up against today. We have a combination of the physical and the energetic that is bombarding us. The physical is the toxic air, the toxic water, the toxic food, the toxic chemicals everywhere. Anything in the grocery store is just chemically laden. And the pharmaceutical industry, which is pushing a lot of this right now, right? And they're coming for you. If you haven't figured out the whole monkey thing, they're coming for us, all right? They're coming for us. The second thing is energetically with the media and other technologies that are very disruptive to this beautiful, majestic miracle known as the human mind-body-spirit complex. It's all designed to fracture us. That's what they're trying to do. One way or another, you are the carbon they want to eliminate. And they are doing everything they can to fracture our bodies and our minds and our spirit. You notice they've taken God out of the whole conversation. They've just taken God out of the conversation. And this is not a good thing. It's terrible. And I don't mean the Christian God. I mean the one infinite creator. Right? But they're coming for us, and they're coming strong, and it's going to keep happening more and more and more. It's a full court press, as they say in basketball, from all the angles. All you got to do is look anywhere, and Mr. Trump was, like I said, talking about artificial intelligence today. We don't want artificial intelligence right now. You just don't. Okay, we've got to get back to Mother Nature. We've got to get back to learning how to live with the plants and the animals, the minerals, the rocks, and Mother Earth. We have got to get connected to Mother Earth, connected to ourselves. The most important relationship you have is the one with yourself, and connected with each other in a heartfelt way. And they're trying to stop that. And they're trying to stop it from birth. That's what from the moment you're born today, that's what that's all about, is to disconnect you permanently from your true self. It took me 65 years to learn this. Okay. I hope this helps someone out there. If you made it this far, congratulations. I hope that you can help somebody else to open their light, to open them up to what's happening, and to go inside and connect with your true spirit, your true self, your heart-centered self. Okay? Because that's how we're going to get past this. It looks like it's going to get ugly, which is why we need compassionate but yet very strong warriors to get through this. And we're going to be tested, and we're going to be tested severely. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't even try to think about it. I just know every day there's just this bombardment that's happening. And that's why I come out to my sacred space amongst the trees, the plants, and the animals, to ground myself with Mother Earth, while at the same time connecting to my higher self. That's who we are. That's who we were built to be. We were built to be that connection. If you look at I was looking at the first card of the tarot. It's the magician, the magus. He's got one finger pointing down to Mother Earth and one hand going up, holding towards the sky. We are the connecting point. We are, as the Cherokee say, three hearts. The heart, the cosmic heart, the heart of Mother Earth, and the heart of the human. Okay? That is who we are. Get connected to both of them, not one or the other. I see everybody talking about love and light. I've talked about this before. We got to ground ourselves right here. Grounding ourselves on Mother Earth is how we hold our stability in that mental and emotional body I was just talking about there. How we hold our stability amongst all of the onslaught and all of the chaos that's going on our planet. We have to ground ourselves. We are designed to be in contact with this beautiful planet, right through the soles of our feet. We have sensors at the bottom of our feet that are designed to be touching this earth. That's why earthing is such a big thing. Get connected to earth. Just imagine yourself, as I'm sitting on this tree stump, my chakra system is going right down through my root chakra, through this little stump here, just from the tree behind me, through this little stump right to Mother Earth, connecting me to Mother Earth. And my crown is connected this way. That's what we need to do. Make time to do that every day. Just visualize yourself connected. Mother Earth, Father Sky, okay? And just let them work their magic on you, all right? Circulate that energy. Because we don't want to reach the breaking point that shatters integrity. It's not fun. And it's not fun for those around us. All right? Good talk. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here. And we'll go get some things to do. Been very busy around here, as always. Getting my shed organized. And we'll see you again next week. Aho.